Good evening, everyone. You are welcome again to another time with Temi B. If you are meeting me for the first time, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome. Thank you so much for always watching my video anytime I bring out my video. So today I want to share with you my experience giving birth in England. The last video I shared what inspired me giving birth abroad. So today I want to share with you my experience giving birth in the UK. So some years back I was in England studying, and after studying I was working. I was legally living in England. I'm not an legal immigrant, so I had access to everything that was there for me in England. And one of the most beautiful thing about England is that health services was free then. Not now that people are paying for health subcharge. That one, there was nothing like health subcharge. If you're a student, you have access to everything health, and you can have this thing. But then I was not even a student. I'd already finished my schooling. I was married. I was working. So when I discovered I was pregnant, the first step I did was I went to my general practitioner, that my GP, and my GP did a blood work on me, because before I went to the hospital, I was not well. So I didn't really know what was happening to me, because I was thinking that okay, the weather was changing, and maybe because I always have this winter depression and all these things. Weather used to affect me a lot. If it's changing from winter to summer, I'm in trouble. From summer to winter, I'm in trouble. That kind of thing. I used to have a lot of, I think my hormones were not just it at all. So I thought it was like that. The next time I went to the hospital, and my GP, because I told him when I was getting married, everything, I was quite close to my GP. Because in India, his house is not so far from my house, so I knew his family, I knew everything about it, because it was like my next door neighbor. So when I now saw him, he was now laughing. He was like, you are changing, this one, that one. I don't know that belly don't sit down for my body. I was already pregnant. And so the first thing, before you start making complaint, let me do a test on you first before I start. I will know. The first, no, you know what my GP do? My GP actually did pregnancy test. So when he did pregnancy test, you understand. So my pregnancy test came out that I was actually pregnant. No, once you do the test, it's not immediately. They will give you another appointment date, and they will share the result with you. You go back to your GP, and the GP, you go back. Is the nurse that usually draws out your blood. Then they will send the results. They'll take it to the hospital for whatever, for checks, and they will bring it back to your GP. Then you get your result from the GP. So my GP was one that now shared the news and told me that I was pregnant. So anytime someone is pregnant in England, you have to wait for 12 weeks before they continue with the midwife. So in my own case, they just handed me over to a midwife and the midwife told me I needed to come back, gave me a 12 weeks appointment. They will give you a 12 weeks appointment from that day that you came. So they did a 12-week appointment, and they checked that the position of the baby was okay. And that was how my journey to antenatal started. I did all the antenatal, all the checks and everything. Was going to the nurses. They will check my blood, they will check my BP, the regular checks that they usually do. And weekends, I remember I used to go to the hospital. Then I was living in Coventry, so I used to go to Coventry hospital to do, like, there's a session that they do for pregnant women, like advice. Different company comes, some will tell you this and this, how to take care of your baby generally. And when you're about to put to bed, there's the last one that they will teach you how to care for the baby, and what you do, how to take care of yourself. All those things were there for us as moms to be. So on the day that I was to have my baby, I decided to do water birth. They will ask you, do you want to do? They will ask you different option of birth. I don't know who sent me. I go do water birth. So in the process of me doing water birth, I got an infection, and at the end of the day, as they were willing me to do an operation, I met this amazing God-sent heavenly angel from the land of Nigeria that relocated to England, and he was practicing as a doctor. It was a lifesaver. It was one that God used for me. I didn't do any operation. It did, like, I had a forceps delivery. Like, they used forceps to try and see whether they could bring out my baby, because my baby got stuck at some point. So luckily for me, it worked out, and the man is so good. Kudos to Nigerian doctors. Nigerian doctor, I respect you, including my father. So fast forward to, I had my baby safe and sound. Then the next day in England, once you have a baby, the next day you get a visit from who they call the health visitor. It's usually a midwife that will come and check you and check your baby. If you're having any any like, you know, some people, they usually do, they sew them, I've forgotten the medical term, you know, down below, they sew them down below. So if you are maybe in that category, they'll check you and see that everything is going on well with the baby and everything, and they will do the baby. They're after their baby. Oh. They're after their baby. The baby when you bought for England, maybe you get that from the British government. So they will check maybe that baby is okay. And that was how, you know, I had back-to-back check, because in my case, I had a postnatal depression, maybe because of the experience of long labor and all these things. I found out I had postnatal depression, so I had back-to-back visit from my health visitor. I must confess, out of all the countries I think I had my children, UK is still the best. No, I give it to British government. British government, you know that me, I always love you. I'm always as in me, I'm your fan. Oh, British government, I am your fan. Then another thing is, for those of you that are Nigerians that want to have your children in England, if you are based in England, I will encourage you. You can have your children in England, and as time goes on, you get to the citizenship. Once you become a permanent resident, the child is liable to have the British passport. Just patient. But if you are from Nigeria and you still want to enjoy the same experience, it's a lot of money you will pay. £10,000 is what you might pay. 10,000 and above. I don't know, but I think it's about £10,000 to have as of 2 years ago. Yes, or I don't know about now. You know, everything is going on. Maybe it's £12,000. The only downside about it is that the child does not have British citizenship. However, the child was born. There are some other things that child has, despite the you know, the British birth certificate is very, very powerful. So I will not talk about that, but the only thing that your child will not get the citizenship immediately, but that does not mean that child cannot become a citizen. We know now. So shout out to Coventry Hospital, like number one, for any time I find myself in the land of Coventry. The memory of, you know, me helping me to have my child, everything. No, British government, I respect you. You know, I love you. England are my second country. If you don't know, you know now. Yeah, so England, I love you all so much. The British government, thank you so much. At least you have a remarkable memory in my family. Anytime I think England, or anytime, you know, I go to Coventry, let me put it like that, I always remember how they helped me. So if you are there, you want to experience the same thing I experienced, honestly, out of the countries I've given birth, I will say it, I will repeat and repeat it again. UK is the best. Not what is the best. I will not. UK, I've tasted other countries, I will not lie. UK is still the best. Yeah, I love you.